Good morning, traders. It's Tuesday, 16th of November 2021. We had some Aussie news out in the early hours, 12:30 a.m. UK time, monetary policy meeting minutes. Nothing really happened market-wise. We haven't seen any kind of major buying or selling of the Aussie dollar following that news and Governor Lowe speaking, so nothing really to say about that. Next thing to look out for is 1:30 p.m. UK time USD core retail sales and retail sales, so look out for that in about 5 hours time from now. Dollar continued to be strong yesterday. Dollar index, I should say. The uptrend at the moment continues. So if this trend was to continue, then I'd be looking for a correction back into 94.5 and then buyers to come in. Obviously, if the sentiment changes, we want to see a nice break of this trend line, nice impulsive move down and a correction before looking for shorts. But at the moment, the buyers are definitely in charge of the market. Is that going to continue? We will wait and see. But like I say, it's a nice horizontal level here of resistance. You can see it's once, twice, three times. Eventually broke out. So after an impulse, we look for a correction. And that's what we'd be looking for before even considering really any more buys on USD. So see what happens there. Euro pound. Well, Euro pound. Don't have much good to say about that one. This was a trade that we had resting for over a week, and we waited, got triggered in yesterday, and it just sank. And in fact, what happened was Euro was the weakest currency yesterday, and it just sold off. So this was still, for me, still a trade worth taking. Beautiful area of support. You can see this area, lots of wicks, resistance, but literally just smashed through yesterday, and it's actually continued to drop today. So that was a losing trade for us, but that is what happens. There's absolutely no way you can go through your trading career without any losses. So hands up, we had a losing trade, unfortunately, but that's just one of those things. So we will take that off, and we'll look for another trading opportunity. Now, there are some potentially coming up that look really, really good, and could be, you could be in them for weeks, maybe even months. But let me just show you yen pairs. Pound yen. Nice beautiful triangle pattern going on. So nice big push up to the top of the triangle here, push down, a bit of a doji there last week, and already we've broken last week's high, as you can see with this high here. So we could be seeing another push to the upside on this. So what I want you to do is keep your eye on price now, because price has dropped down, as you can see, and it's not really made much gains to the downside, and it's kind of consolidating, and I can definitely see a clear area of resistance here. Okay, now whether you want to draw it like that as a zone, or maybe you want to draw it with that high there or this high here, but you can see that this zone, however you want to draw it, is an area of price where the market is currently finding resistance. So the market basically is saying that at this price there are no buyers. Okay, there are no more buyers. So if we can close above there and break above there, then potentially we're seeing those buyers come into the market. So that is the very, very basics, the basic way of thinking about it. Okay, resistance means that there are no more buyers at that price, or no one willing to pay higher for the currency pair or whatever asset you are trading. Support is the opposite. There are no sellers. There are no more sellers at that point. It's cheap enough, and you're seeing buyers come in. Okay, so that's the very, very basics of support resistance. So at the moment we are seeing resistance, and we are in a resistance zone. I draw them as zones generally. So if we start to see now higher highs, higher lows, then potentially we could be moving back up to the top of the triangle. But I would like to see this trend line broken. So not important, not just to see a close above these highs here. I think I'd want to see a close above this trend line as well. But what should happen, this would be a push to the upside, would be either pound strength or yen weakness, or both. But there are more than one chart potentially showing yen weakness coming into play potentially. So if this does push to the upside, potentially we could be looking at yen weakness throughout the whole of the market, because let me just show you Kiwi yen. Kiwi yen, we've got this beautiful channel to the downside. We are at an area of previous resistance here, so this could now become support. So we are watching for price to break out of this channel. Not doing so at the moment, but keep your eyes on this. It's going down at the moment. Not too worried about that, because we're looking at the longer term play, the big play here. Let me show you the weekly actually, because the weeklies are nice. If I just delete that for a second, not that it really matters, but you can see there's a nice clear area here of resistance. Okay, and it's possible that price is going to come and test that again. So that's round about the 83.6, 83.7 level. Some nice cyclicity here. We have this impulse, correction, or consolidation, impulse, correction, impulse. This is correction, could see another impulse into this zone. So this is a very, very interesting pair as well. And seasonally over November, this does very, very well. So be watching that one as well. We're looking for the breakout. Not particularly interested in the shorts, like I say, because I'm looking at the bigger picture of what's going on. So what could we look for? Well, I mean, early, people who want to get in this early, if they do at all, may want to look for prices dropping at the moment. So maybe a double bottom here. Come back and test this 79.98. It's right about that big number 80. A double bottom here. Potentially, you could look for a buy setup. Or if you just want to play it safe, and there's nothing wrong with that, just wait for price to break out. And in particular, break above this high here, because that's the last swing high. If we look, guys, you know, you've got that resistance there. You've got the trend line resistance, you've got horizontal resistance. So if we can clear this zone, and especially this high here, okay, especially this high here, then we should be looking at that upside. And remember, you know, we're going to be looking for impulsive move, correction, and then looking for a long trade. Okay, we're going to be looking for impulse, correction, impulse. So keep your eyes on Kiwi yen as well. I mean, just looking at this right now live, you know, what potentially could be happening, because I talked about double bottom, but maybe we could get an inverse head and shoulder pattern. So inverse head and shoulder pattern is basically a fancy name for a change of cycle from a downtrend into an uptrend. Let me just draw it for you so you can understand what I'm showing you. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and that's what we would expect. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, low, lower low, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then we go basically changing trend. Okay, that's what an inverse head and shoulder pattern is. That's what could be happening here, and we are actually coming into the same kind of level, I would say, just by eye. Here is the low here. We're coming into that zone here. So inverse head and shoulders, maybe. If we start to see buyers come in somewhere around here, then that could be an early way into the trade. The safest way though, guys, listen, is to look for the break, look for the impulsive move, and look for a correction before getting in. Okay, but some traders are what we call aggressive traders, and there's nothing wrong with that. But maybe if you do want to take a trade down here, if you get a setup, maybe you want to do it at a slightly lower risk than normal. So pound yen looking nice for longs, but it's not ready yet. Kiwi yen also potentially looking nice for longs, especially when you look at that weekly time frame. Okay, and also have a little look at Cad Yen. Cad Yen is within this channel at the moment, potentially a bullish flag pattern. Okay, which we would expect to break to the downside, the upside, I should say. Now, this is interesting at the moment because was this a double bottom here? Was this a double bottom? Came in, moved up, came back down to the same zone, didn't make a lower low. This was the lowest low here, okay, and pushed up again. So what we've actually got, look, at the moment is a range. So people would be predicting, or traders or retail traders would be predicting, maybe we're going to push down into this zone here, which is possible. It could be doing that. If it does that, then this would be a nice zone to look for longs from. So there are some really nice yen pairs potentially setting up for us for some big trades. So we're going to keep our eyes on them. Also keeping our eyes on gold and silver. I think I mentioned this yesterday. Gold, looking very bullish. Pullback into this zone here, 1831. Potentially a deeper pullback into 1811. Further longs, and then looking to trade up to 1909. Silver moving absolutely lovely with those moving averages, like you can see here. So a pullback. We've got resistance here, look guys. Price moved up, rejected, broke. Nice to see a nice retest there, and look, it kind of matches up with this zone here. So pullback into 2460, 2461, and then looking for a buy setup there. So plenty of things to keep our eyes on. Nothing quite ready at the moment, but trading can be like fishing, if you like. A lot of fishing is about sitting there waiting for the fish to come along. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're setting our rods, if you like, in the water, and we are waiting for those trade setups to come to us. And they might not come to us, but if they do, then we know exactly how we're going to play them. So I hope that was of interest to you guys today. Potentially some longer term trades setting up, which is very exciting. Let's see what happens, and I will catch you in the next update. Bye for now.